Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, back to talk more Expanse. That's right, the latest episode just got over with a little while ago, well, more like an hour ago. Kind of feel like Clarissa Mao in this episode in the getting ready to make this this review. I got really enraged. And it might come out a little bit in this review. But I want to thank everybody that's been watching these. I really, really appreciate it. The Expanse is a show I really love. But it's been kind of an up and down experience talking about this incredible show. And so the fact that anybody comes and watches, I appreciate it. I really do. If you're not a subscriber, consider becoming one. Don't forget to hit the like button, notifications, all that blah, 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 blah. It's time to talk about episode 6 of season 5 called Tribes. Holy cow, is this a crazy episode? And I know I've given this season a bit of guff, but I have to give it guff. I only give it guff because I care. But I really dug this episode. It really feels like everything is converging in this season. I really like that. That is something I didn't really feel was happening in season 4. But all roads point to this big, situation with Inaros that's going to come to a head, and everybody's going to kind of feel like, all of a sudden get into this, and it's going to be great. And this is a great indicator of where it's going, this episode. Also want to bring up the fact that people have been talking about that there was word that season 6 is not the end. I would like that as well. I don't know if that's true. But again, we'll see. This gave me a lot of stuff that I really, really wanted. And there's a lot to say about, again, still, the stuff with going on with Marcos and his plan and what he wants for the Belters. I really love them putting Clarissa Mao and Amos together. They've always been really good at doing a Game of Thrones kind of thing, which is putting characters that don't belong together on paper usually. Like when you just kind of almost like a dartboard where it's like, all right, so Holden with drummer, let's see what happens. But I mean, this has been really good seeing these two together. I think it's a perfect fit. They're both people that have come from really bad situations, have done really bad things. Amos is mostly in his past and things that we just, he's kind of the man of mystery of what he's actually, how bad he's actually been or was or, kind of can still be. And Clarissa Mao is a person who started out with having everything and then, went on the revenge kick and, went way really far the other way with it, modding herself out for revenge, and now she's been put in jail, and them two together trying to on their own kind of weird roads to redemption in a way is really, really great. But let's just jump into this because like my thumbnail said, it's Avasarala, finally getting in the worst way to do it, kind of getting some of her old power back out of necessity. This is not how anybody would want it, and I love how she plays it. She only has this one scene, but I love how emotionally vulnerable she was. This character does not have those moments. They don't write it, but she really knocks it out of the park here in just this one scene, where she's having to deal with, yes, my kids are fine, I can't find my husband, the government is shattered, you got the Minister of Transportation trying to keep things running, and she's visibly shaken, and again, it's so weird seeing her like this. But having this guy come in, a little bit of exposition, I guess, for things that we don't know, talking about how things are out there, how he's this kind of witness to devastation, and that now they're going to need to lean on her because of her experience and what she did to basically save the galaxy. It's such a weird thing to say in this kind of show because this isn't like a superhero show. This isn't a comic book show. When you hear the term save the galaxy, it's usually, it doesn't feel as real. And the Expanse, when they save our galaxy, it feels more in line with stuff that could happen, more than Star Trek and Star Wars. So she getting this kind of recognition from this person who's in way over his head. Of course, this is the only way it was going to go. But when she's told these, she's visibly again trying to put on her necklace and being like, okay, I've got to do this now. It's and you can feel that weight that's on her. And just this one scene, man, she just kills it. So yes, of course, they're coming for Avasarala to help out. Now, Holden gets a little bit here. Um, One thing that in Holden's bit is him talking to the other Belters, right? And I just can't get over because I'm playing it right now. Is Final Fantasy X and how the Belters all sound like the character Waka and his people, the Besaid people from Final Fantasy X. If you know what I'm talking about, it's that way of talking, eh? But like almost like a mixture of Islander and Canadian. But we got the reporter joining the crew. I like them questioning the guy, questioning her credibility, and them just laying him basically out with words, saying like I was there when all this went down and opening of the all the rings and stuff. Be telling me I don't know what I'm doing. Um, but she was only given guest privileges, which was smart. I like that they showed that too. It's such a small thing. It's such a small detail, but I really liked that. But we also have Holden checking out the video. If all, if everything goes to hell, basically, message from Naomi. That's all Holden gets to do in this episode, but not everybody gets as much to do. But it's the little details, again, that this show puts out. And Alex and Bobby, okay, they only get one thing too, but oh man, is this an intense scene. I really, really dug this. This really brought it. It gives you that, oh God, is somebody going to die situation. Because again, done realistically, when Alex needed to get back to the ship, I was like, oh. And Bobby getting to do her own freaking Captain America moment, Winter Soldier, like when Cap's holding the bar and holding the helicopter. She literally gets to do the same thing, except even bigger. Because she's in space holding the Razorback and another ship with her power armor. How bad fucking ass is that? So I mean, they outdid Winter Soldier here. And again, of course, seeing Bobby just laying waste to these people with her gun when they first try to get in, just fantastic. It's all but it's more of a distraction so that Alex can jump to the other ship, plant the grenade, and then him maybe not making it back was fantastic. I know that Kaz Anvar is not going to be in the show after this, but what are you going to do? I'm enjoying it while he's here, I guess. I hope that I don't know. I hope whatever happened with that situation, hope everybody gets, I don't know. I don't want to dig myself a hole there, but I am enjoying Alex and Bobby together. I thought it was pretty cool how they got to kind of ride the explosion out of there. The whole like emergency start to go kaboom and have that, just it was really, really great. um I also thought it was really interesting how quickly they were found, but it doesn't matter. uh Now Naomi, she gets a little bit to do. Hers is kind of mixed in, so I'm going to be kind of blending, if you couldn't already tell, blending some of these plot lines together because they have people crossing in and out. But Naomi, and Naros, is her part of this really is more interesting through Marcos, what he wants to do, and what I kind of predicted, and what's pretty predictable actually, is he wants to space Naomi for what he found out she did, but nobody else wants to. And it's that old trope of, somebody else trying to pawn out their dirty work on somebody else. Except, like I said, some of these people have history with her, and it's, like they say, it's Naomi. You know, if you want to do it, you got to do it yourself. So that's kind of her thing. I mean, we've got an obvious kind of Philip turning sides probably eventually here, but it wasn't a surprise that the one guy stood up for her. I like that actor. He's been good in a lot of things. I remember him on the first couple seasons of the one where the girl went missing. I don't remember what it's called now. It's one on the. I'm not going to go down that road. Joel Kinnaman's show uh, from AMC. Uh, there's also the whole thing about, when she finds out that her people are all right. Like, well, it's, too bad, me and your, Marcos, are included in that. And it's like, she's kind of like, yeah, it is. It does suck. It does suck that I care more about them than you because of what you're into. I think again we're gonna see, him. I haven't, like I said, I haven't read the book, so it feels like slowly, especially with Marcos seeing it, spying on them, that she's gonna maybe get her son more towards her side. Hopefully, it's before Marcos goes insane and kills everybody. Um, who else do we got in here? Okay. Uh, so we got to talk about Naomi or Amos and Clarissa Mao next before we talk about the last bit. So in this bit, it's basically just Amos and Clarissa Mao going through the woods, trying to get her out of there. There's nowhere to go. They're told if you go to Baltimore, it's nothing. There's no good coming here, and she's hurt. And the best thing about this is we get some character stuff, right? And we get that whole thing about Schrodinger's parent. Both Amos and hers, family situation is messed up. Amos doesn't really know he didn't know his dad. His mother died when she was young, and Mao, well, once she got put in jail, and her father and everything, nobody's, she's been completely left out. So she doesn't really have a family anymore. And I like that whole they're dead and alive at the same time with the Schrodinger's parent thing. That until you see them, you don't really know. Like both things are exist in that kind of like thinking. I really liked that. They got so many great moments in here talking about living a good life without being a good person, and that's kind of what ends up happening here. It's a very Walking Dead kind of situation where it's the end of the world on Earth, and people are already tribing up, as Amos talks about. That people, you know, just do this, and he's at home here. He's like, this is basically what my life was like before, I got everything changed and, was with Holden. And they end up going to this guy's house who's like a doomsday prepper, right? And I thought it was a little convenient that the guy was like, not just protective of his property, but he wasn't a good person. It was a good way to be able to excuse what happens next, which is, Amos is there going, hey, I want to do a trade. I got a water recycler. I just need a rifle. But the thing is I don't think he had he doesn't have a water recycler. Their plan was basically to do something, like to get this guy's stuff. Maybe not to kill him, but they did what a lot of people in Walking Dead do. You come across somebody, you try to take their stuff, and that's what happens here. Except not in the way that I expected it to. They got you so looking the other way when the guy's telling Amos to strip that you forget about Mao until she's on him. And we get this moment where she just goes, the mods take over, she takes that guy out, and now they have all his stuff. So that guy gave me some very Last of Us vibes. He reminded me of Nolan North's villain in The Last of Us a little bit. Sitting out there, hey, yeah. We also get the civilization keeps you civil. That without civilization, you really see what everybody's really like, and that's true. It really is, man. Look at how we've been in COVID land. I felt like I was talking to somebody, messaged somebody today about how I feel like I need to make a video explaining 2020. and myself and how I've been all of 2020, because I feel like a lot of us have just kind of gone. So anyway, the last bit about this is Drummer, because I had to save my favorite character for last. So what are we going to have happening here? Because she stumbles upon Marcos's navy, his free navy, right? They're talking about making sure Drummer doesn't do anything rash. Meanwhile, they're in here and they realize he doesn't just have weapons. He has an army. He has ships. He is really doing what he said he was going to do. And so she ends up on Inaros' ship, and I'm like, okay, well, this is only episode 6, so, we can't have anything really happen here. And she just goes in hot, talking shit. Where's your throne? Oh, you didn't already win the war already? Telling him about, like, what, Strathairn's character, I forget off the top of my head, how the song that he was listening to wasn't, what he thought it was. That he was prepared to die, that he was doing something, and just really riding him. But I also love the fact that Marcos is, as crazy as he is, isn't just outright taking people out of his own that are standing up to him. Because he's smart enough to know that if he starts killing people that don't agree with him that are on his people, then he could easily be seen as like the Inners or Mars, or like Earth or Mars. And so he kind of like sits there and lets her just have her say. And I still think that it's very interesting because Marcos isn't doing anything different than a lot of people have done to get liberty for their people. And it's all perspective, right? These people have been, but it's so, it's hard not to just kind of a little bit side with the Belters. A little bit. Understanding how it got here. And I've talked about this to death. Because it's him shucking rocks at Earth and killing everybody is not good either. But I'm just saying that in this story, in this world, I understand it a little bit. Like I've compared it to Thanos. Like Thanos had points, but it's how he did it. Going on and on about the agriculture going to be better than Earth, and telling, like a politician, just like telling everybody, promising everybody all these things that are going to be what's going to be like when we get our, beat Earth and Mars back and make them stay where they are. We really control everything. It's a great dream. It's a great dream. But the reality is, I mean, he gave it a really good shot, but in the end, I mean, it really isn't sustainable. Again, I've said this before. You can't get power the way Marcos is getting power without having somebody try to take it back. You'd always be watching your back your entire life. So then they have the join or no join discussion, where these people are, kind of make sense, like if you've watched any of my other reviews where we talked about the belt, there's been plenty of times where I crap on the belt because they are certain, I kind of feel like they are certain that I don't really like. I don't really like the Belters, a lot of them. But the thing is, it's like it doesn't mean I don't understand. And so a lot of the things they're talking about here about standing together, this guy's doing what Dawes and Fred could not. If we're doing this now, we get to be in the ground floor. It's creating it with Marcos, this world that we have. So they do end up deciding to join. There's a bit missing here, I feel like. There's a lot of little unsaid stuff once they cut away. And suddenly they're exchanging people. And Philip accidentally let Naomi's there in front of Drummer without, like, enough is said for him to go, her to go, oh, shit. Naomi's right here. And so I'm really digging that. The last bit, though, I guess, is Amos saying, Holden wouldn't agree with what I did here. And instead of being like, he realizes that he needs to get back to his crew because being with his crew made him a better person. And that's just the way it ends. And it just, boom. It's just such a great episode. This is probably my favorite episode of the season. And that's saying a lot because the episode 3 and 4 were also really, really good. So anyway, If you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, and the bell for all notifications. Otherwise, we'll be back next week with episode 7. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.